In our previous videos, we saw how we can drag elements into our molecule box and then we can name those molecules with something. Now, in this video, we need to handle something that's going to be a little bit tricky, and that is we need to clear out the message box. So if I make water, then I want to make carbon dioxide. We need some way of removing all of the elements that we've added to the box, both visually and in the list as well. And for that, we're going to add a handler for the clear button that we see here. So in the blocks view, I'm going to grab button clear, and we're going to grab a click event. And I know this canvas is getting very busy now, so I'm going to try to find a little bit of real estate here where I can put him. So when button clear click, we want to do two things. We want to clear out the list. So first of all, we're going to find a way we can remove everything from the list. Probably the easiest way is just to reinitialize the variable with create empty list. So what I might do is I might go to variables and I'll say set. Okay. And then we're going to say global molecules 2, and then we'll say create empty list, just like so. So we basically just reinitialize it. Now the next thing we're going to do is going to be a little bit trickier, and that is we have to set each of our molecules back to their original place. So I'm going to grab the, for this example, carbon 1, we're going to say carbon 1 move 2, and we want to put it in the starting position X and the starting position Y, where it began life. The trick is the only place where we know that is in the dragged event. So let's go up, let's find the dragged event for carbon 1. There we go. And here's the start X and start Y. Well, gosh, we need those, but we're in the wrong event handler. So what we're going to need to do is make some global variables. So I'll say initialize global, we'll say carbon 1 start 2, and we'll just start it off at 0. So I will grab math, and we're going to grab the constant 0. Okay, and then I'll do another one of these variables, initialize global, and then we'll say carbon 1 start. Actually, we should make an X and a Y, shouldn't we? So let's make this one Y. Carbon 1 start Y, and this one will be carbon 1 start X. Okay, we'll start carbon 1 start Y also at 0. Okay, now in our event handler block for dragged, we can go back to variables and we can say, you know what, I want to remember where this carbon 1 started. So I'm going to make a local variable, carbon 1 start, and we're going to assign start X to that. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing for the Y. So variables, we'll say, well, actually we can just get it like so. Okay, set global carbon 1 start Y2, and we'll say here start Y. Now this, I will admit, is going to be a bit of a tedious process as we work over all of our elements. So I'm just going to do this one for carbon 1. But now let's go back down to our clear button, and for X we're going to say variables, and we're going to say get. Okay, carbon 1 start X, variables again, get. Plug that right in, and we'll say carbon 1 start Y, and then I'll go ahead and save it. Again, we'd want to do that for each of our balls, quite a few I know. We'd want to do it for each of them, but I'll just do it with carbon 1 for the moment, just so we can kind of confirm. We probably also want to show an alert that we've cleared the list. So I'll borrow a show alert block. Okay, and don't need this joined anymore. I will borrow the string, and we'll say cleared. Okay, and save. Okay, and let's see what we get. So I'll drag my carbons in. Okay, and now we see carbon added. Now I'm going to say clear, and let's see what we get. Okay, do you see how it took that carbon molecule and it moved it back out? And there we go with cleared. So again, we'd want to do that for each of our molecules, but we see that's what's going to happen. We can drag in and add to the list, and then we get carbon added to the list, but then we can also clear the list. So without worrying about the other molecules, we'll know that we can just manually drag them out as we want, because every time we drag it back in, it's going to hit that collided event. It's going to add that to our list. So I'll go ahead and say clear. Okay, looking pretty good. So that's the clear button. In our next example, we're going to see how we can randomize one of the elements, and we can make this a guessing game. I look forward to seeing you then.